And for a closer look at President Thein Sein's visit, we have in studio Professor Simon Tay, Chairman of the Singapore Institute of International Affairs. Thank you very much, Simon, for joining us this evening. Well, first let's look at the MOU. So Singapore will be helping Myanmar in sectors like banking, legal and financial. Are these the sectors that Myanmar should be focusing and prioritizing for reform?
There are certainly key areas that after the political opening and reform goes on there, the economics follow. And one of the key problems the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, has identified is currency. So central banking and the stabilization and the liberalization of the kyat, I think, will be critical. And certainly other areas. The new government has to show that it cares for the people. So it needs to take care of basic needs like infrastructure and housing. And it also does want to make the most of this political opening by inviting in tourists. There are so few tourists right now compared to other countries in ASEAN.
All right, well, Myanmar has been in isolation for decades now. What sort of challenges are they facing in opening up to a new world?
Well, there are critical challenges, but the point is that Singapore actually has been there for them for a long time. We've been doing technical assistance, not at this level, but certainly there, and trading to Singapore. But additionally, I think that they will have to step up in terms of dealing with a slew of issues, infrastructure, power generation, and the laws that allow investment but also protect foreign investors. We have to make sure that people who go in, whether American, the Chinese companies that are there, or Singaporean companies, will have the best legal protections.
So, Professor Tay, how fast do they have to implement all these changes to be able to get up there?
I think some of this will take time. Clearly, with the sanctions still in place from America and the EU, they're unwinding them. It will take some time. People aren't ready to rush in. It also will take some time to deal with infrastructure and other goods because there's a lot of capital investment that is needed. To take resources out, to trade in resources, that will be quicker.
Okay, well, we also see that, they're trying to move up to that kind of speed by having all these various visits to various countries. So what do you make of the order of visits? I mean, if I'm not mistaken, Singapore comes after China and India.
Well, I think it's very significant. Singapore has been a close friend of Myanmar throughout all these difficult times. We've criticized them at points like the Saffron Revolution. Other times we've tried to help them, train their officials, etc. So after the giants of China, which has so much investments in Myanmar, and the next door neighbor, another giant, India, I think it's very critical that they come to Singapore as one of the ASEAN neighbors to try to kickstart some of the technical and other reform. Additionally, of course, Myanmar's talent and labor have been going overseas to look for opportunities, and many of them are here. So we can expect over time that as the economy grows and politics stabilizes there must be a sucking sound drawing back the talent that's gone abroad.
All right, let's talk about ASEAN 2014. Myanmar is set to assume the leadership, the rotating leadership of the group. What sort of help do you think it will need to be able to do this successfully?
Well, it all depends on how we view its chairmanship. Chairmanship has been held by small states like Brunei. It's been held by also developing countries like Cambodia. So the chairmanship particularly isn't that onerous, though there are some technical areas where others can help them. But more to the point, Myanmar's reforms come at exactly the right time. Otherwise, when its chairmanship comes, there will be a lot of pressure on the group as a whole. The other deadline to watch is 2015, where ASEAN has promised to become an economic community. And Myanmar coming on board at this time, reforming at this time, and opening its very large, previously closed market, I think could be significant for ASEAN as a group.
Okay, well, let's look at the issue that everyone's focusing as well on is that Myanmar is trying to re-establish relations with the US. It also has very close relations with China. How will it affect its relationship with both countries here?
Well, I think that the Chinese are there, and they are not being chased out of the country. That's probably the wrong signal. But what I think any country wants is a more balanced portfolio of investors and people who are friends. And so the sanctions from America and from Europe have really hurt them in terms of providing the right kind of investments, the high-quality companies that can come in and really create jobs and not just take out resources. And so I think that the opening to America will be critical. The EU, of course, will be a significant player as well.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Professor Simon Tay from the Singapore Institute of International Affairs joining us this evening with his insights and analysis there.
All right.